Hello and welcome to this next video. My name is Chris from ChristopherHole.com, and what I'm going to be talking about today is the number one solution for low back pain. Now, according to research, 80% of the population will experience low back pain at some point in their life. Now, for us in the UK, where there's around 60 million people, give or take a few million, what that means is 80% of 60 million is 48 million people are going to experience low back pain at some point in their life. And what we also know about low back pain is that a lot of it is the straw that broke the camel's back. Now, what this means is when people experience low back pain, they more often than not try to treat the symptom of low back pain. Whereas if it's the straw that broke the camel's back, we have to take a more preventative mindset, because the way we live our lives, the postures that we're in, the way we exercise, that's contributing to low back pain without us even knowing. Because it's not until we experience the pain do we then do something about it. But what we have to understand is that what we are doing, whether we feel it or not, is contributing to our back pain. Or whether we do it correctly or not is contributing to our back pain. So one of the solutions that is sort of set as a guideline for low back pain is exercise. Now, exercise is only good for low back pain if it's done correctly. And normally, exercise is done incorrectly. If you walk into a gym, if you speak to most trainers or most people with regards to exercise, they will tell you about the no pain, no gain philosophy. And there are many trainers that I have watched and heard that they'll speak to their client and they'll say, how does that feel? And they'll go, oh yeah, I can feel it in my lower back. Oh, well, what we need to do is we need to stretch it out, or we need to strengthen those muscles, or whatever it might be. Now, this isn't entirely true. Because of inactivity levels due to a sedentary life, people have a poor posture and a poor core stability, and the way they exercise contributes to that as well. Now, the no pain, no gain philosophy, if we follow it, it tells us we have to feel the burn to get the gains. What this is doing, this is weakening and fatiguing our muscles. Now, if we are fatigued while we exercise, our posture and technique will decrease. If our posture and technique decreases, that puts pressure, or more pressure, on the muscles of our back and on the muscles of our core that are already weak, and that weakens them further, causing more and more muscle imbalances. For example, tight hamstrings, weak abdominals, tight muscles of the hip in general, a weaker core in general, so not just the muscles of the abdominal wall, but the muscles up the back as well. It can move us towards postures such as excessive lordosis or kyphosis or even sway back. So what we have to do is we have to exercise a little bit more intelligently. Now, the exercise that we need to do is exercise without fatigue. So the muscles of our core do not want to fatigue if we want to overcome or prevent our low back pain. We have to exercise in a way that maintains correct posture and technique throughout the whole of the exercise, every rep for every set, and that goes for every exercise of our workout. So we want to, in a way, lessen the intensity on our core, because then what we're going to do is we're going to build endurance into the core muscles. This endurance is going to give our core a greater ability to exercise for longer. And when we can exercise for longer, we're going to be able to eventually exercise harder. The reason we can then exercise harder is because our core muscles are going to have a greater endurance and a greater buffer to cope with any incorrections in our technique. So to start with, we need to exercise for shorter to build the endurance so we can exercise for longer. And also to begin with, we have to exercise with a lesser intensity so we can eventually, with a greater buffer and a greater ability to keep form, so we can then exercise for harder with maybe at points less of a form. Okay, well, I hope all this makes sense. I hope it's been informative. I hope you've learned something. If you want to learn more about low back pain, please come to ChristopherHole.com. I've got loads more videos on there. I've got loads more articles, loads more expert interviews of me interviewing world-leading experts on low back pain across the world. So yeah, please come to ChristopherHole.com. I will speak to you in another video.